Peace and grace, beloved soul. Today your angels are whispering a message meant just for you. Can you feel it? That gentle nudge in your heart, that spark of hope. That's the universe guiding you toward blessings you've been waiting for. Doors are opening. Opportunities are arriving. Divine timing is aligning in your favor, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be in this moment. So take a deep breath. Feel the peace and open your heart to this divine guidance. If this message lifts your spirit, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more angelic words, wisdom, and guidance that speak directly to your soul. Your angels are waiting to bless you. Have you ever met someone who felt different? Someone who walked into your life and suddenly everything shifted. Your heart, your energy, your faith, your very breath. It wasn't coincidence, it wasn't luck. It was divine design, because angels say, when God sends someone into your life, it's never random. It's never just a meeting. It's a message wrapped in human form. You may not have noticed it at first, the way their presence calmed your storms, the way their words healed wounds you never told anyone about, or the way their eyes seemed to carry the peace of heaven itself. But the truth is, God sent them, not to stay forever, but to remind you what forever feels like. The angels are whispering tonight. They say, pay attention, because the one you're thinking about right now, yes, that soul is not an accident. You were meant to meet them. And if you listen closely, you'll feel heaven speaking through this story. Every meeting has a purpose. Every connection has a reason. And every soul that enters your path carries a lesson that your heart prayed for long before your lips could form the words. Sometimes we ask God for healing, and He sends a person. Sometimes we cry for strength, and He sends someone who challenges us to grow. Sometimes we ask for love, and He sends someone who mirrors our wounds, so we can finally see what needs to be healed within. You see, angels say God does not always send answers wrapped in light. Sometimes He sends them in broken people, in lost souls who will teach you how to love without condition, forgive without pride, and trust even after the storm. That person, the one who changed your life, they were heaven's way of saying, I heard your prayers. Think back to the first time you met them, the way time slowed down for a moment, the way something deep inside you whispered, this person matters. You didn't know why, but your soul knew, because the soul always recognizes what the mind cannot explain. Maybe they walked into your life during your darkest hour, when everything felt cold and heavy, when you had forgotten how to smile, how to hope, how to believe again, and suddenly their laughter became your light. Their kindness became your comfort. Their presence became your prayer answered. That's not a coincidence. That's divine orchestration. That's God's handwriting across the pages of your story. The angels say, do not question the people who arrive in peace and leave you changed forever. They were sent by God and all for a sacred reason. There are moments when heaven intervenes directly, not through thunder or visions, but through human touch, through a single act of love that rewrites your destiny. Maybe you met them in a random place, a store, a bus, online, or maybe they appeared in your life at the exact moment you thought you couldn't go on. But the truth is, God timed it perfectly. The angels say, heaven never sends anyone too early or too late. They arrive in your story exactly when your heart is ready to receive them. So if you've met someone who feels divinely familiar, someone whose soul speaks to yours without words, someone whose presence feels like home, then you're not imagining it, you're remembering it. You're remembering the promise your souls made before time began, to find each other, to help each other, to awaken each other back to love. Because when God sends someone to awaken you, it's not always comfortable. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like your heart is breaking open. But that's what awakening feels like, a breaking that leads to becoming. Angels say, you will cry not because you lost them, but because you finally saw God's love through them. You will cry because you'll realize that this soul, this person, was heaven's way of touching you in human form. And whether they stay for a lifetime or just a moment, they were sent to show you something eternal, that love never dies, it only transforms. So, if you're listening right now and thinking of that one person, the one who entered your life and left a mark no one else can erase, know this. God sent them for healing, for growth, for faith, for love. You were not abandoned. You were guided. You were not broken. You were being rebuilt, and you were never alone. Not even for a second. Because somewhere, beyond what your eyes can see, the angels are whispering your name and saying, this is why God sent them. Angels say when heaven chooses someone for your path, the signs are written everywhere. They appear quietly at first, almost invisible, but the more awake your spirit becomes, the clearer they grow. Today, we open your heart to see them, so you could remember who you are and how deeply you are loved. Have you ever met someone and felt you had known them forever? Not in memory, but in essence, a warmth that melts through time itself. That's not chemistry, that's remembrance. Your souls have crossed before, in another season, in another lifetime of light. When God sends this kind of soul, your energy recognizes them before your mind does. You feel strangely safe. You share secrets too soon. You laugh like children rediscovering joy. Because your souls have whispered together in heaven, and now earth is simply catching up. Angels say, the soul never forgets the one sent to awaken it. Look closely at when they entered your life. Was it after heartbreak? After loss? When you had finally said, I give up? God loves to send people into the cracks of your surrender, not to replace what you lost, but to prove that His love still finds you there. Maybe they showed up right when your world felt colorless, and suddenly you saw beauty again. Maybe their message reignited, a faith you had buried under disappointment. That timing is not coincidence, that is heaven's calendar, always. Late to your plans, but right on time for your purpose. Sometimes the delay is protection, because the person God sends must meet you when your heart is ready to receive real love, not when you're still chasing what was never meant to stay. When God sends someone, chaos quiets. You may still face storms, but in their presence, your soul exhales. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to perform. Their energy tells your heart, rest, you are safe here. This peace is supernatural, it doesn't make sense, yet it feels like truth. Angels say peace is the first language of heaven. If someone brings that kind of stillness to your spirit, they were sent to remind you what divine peace feels like on earth. You start wanting to become better, not because they asked, but because their presence calls out your highest self. You forgive faster, you love deeper, you pray more, sincerely. They don't push you toward God, they pull you by example. You see the light in them and remember that the same light lives in you. That's how you know the connection is holy. It does not drain you, it awakens you. When heaven orchestrates a meeting, the universe hums with agreement. You begin to notice repeating numbers, songs, dreams, and gentle nudges. Perhaps you kept seeing 1111 or 7077 before they appeared. Perhaps you dreamt of a face before meeting it in reality. Perhaps you both said the same words at the same time. Is too often to be chance. These are not coincidences. They're breadcrumbs of grace. The angels are saying, look, heaven is speaking in patterns. Pay attention. The signs are heaven's handwriting saying, yes, this is the one I sent. Be warned, divine connections aren't always soft. Sometimes they stir emotions you buried. They press on wounds you thought were gone. You might feel vulnerable, confused, or even angry at times. But that's because they hold a mirror to your soul. Through them, you see the places that still ache for healing. God doesn't send them to break you. He sends them so you can finally stop pretending you're fine. Through love or loss, joy or pain, they become the sacred mirror through which you meet your truest self. Angels say, the one who awakens your pain is also awakening your purpose. Notice how life flows differently when they're near. Doors open ideas. Arrive, peace follows you, sense guidance, like invisible wings steering your steps. The right words come at the right time. You find yourself in places you never planned, yet they lead to beauty. This is how the angels confirm, yes, you're walking the path heaven prepared. If everything around them feels aligned, then heaven is using that connection as a compass. Sometimes the divine connection doesn't stay. They come, change you, and leave, and their absence feels like grief. But angels remind us when God removes someone he once sent, it's not rejection, it's graduation. Their mission was to teach you something, and once the lesson is sealed in love, he leads them to the next soul who needs that light. You will cry, but those tears water your growth. You will ache, but that ache becomes sacred memory, because their purpose wasn't possession, it was transformation. Logic doubts it, people question it, but deep inside, you simply know. You can't explain it, but you feel it, like a heartbeat synced with heaven. That inner knowing is your spirit saying, yes, this is divine. Trust what you feel. Angels say when the soul recognizes truth, it trembles before it. So if you still feel that pull, if their name still brings peace instead of bitterness, believe what your soul already knows. God sent them. Take a deep breath. Think of the person who fits these signs. Remember how they appeared, how they loved, how they changed you. Maybe you lost touch, maybe they're still by your side. It doesn't matter. The lesson remains holy, because heaven never sends anyone by mistake. Every encounter is a verse in the poem. God writes through your life, and tonight, the angels are whispering. Now you see it, don't you? The signs were there all along. The angels say, when God sends someone into your life, he hides purpose within their presence. They are never just people. They are assignments, divine instruments carrying messages your soul prayed for long before you could understand them. So, if you're wondering why this person entered your story, listen carefully. Heaven is about to reveal the reasons that will make your heart tremble and perhaps make you cry. Some people are sent to heal you, not through medicine, but through love that touches wounds you've kept hidden from the world. They don't even have to try. Their kindness simply softens your scars. Their words reach the places pain has built walls around. Their smile reminds you what safety feels like again. Angels say, when the heart has forgotten its worth, God sends a gentle soul to remind it. That person may have entered your life when your faith was shattered, when your laughter had disappeared, and somehow, through their love, you remembered that you were still worthy of joy. You may cry as you recall how their presence became a bandage to your soul, but those tears are holy. They are the sound of healing finally happening. Sometimes, God sends someone who doesn't just comfort you. They confront you, they mirror your truth, your fears, your hidden strength. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. They reflect back the parts of you that you've denied, the light and the shadow. But that's their sacred mission, to help you see yourself. Through them, you begin to recognize your divine identity. They awaken what you forgot, that you are love itself, that you are capable of more than the pain that tried to define you. Angels say, the one who mirrors your soul is not here to fix you, but to remind you that you were never broken. So if you've ever looked into someone's eyes and seen both your pain and your peace, you've met your mirror, heaven's gentle reminder that your story still holds glory. The angels whisper, every soul carries a lesson, and every encounter is a classroom. Sometimes, the person God sends will challenge you, disappoint you, or even hurt you, not because they were evil, but because the lesson required the breaking of your illusions. Maybe they taught you how to love without losing yourself. Maybe they taught you the power of letting go. Maybe they taught you that real faith means trusting, even after heartbreak. Whatever the lesson, know this: they were not a punishment. They were the answer to a prayer you forgot you prayed. You asked God for strength. He sent someone who tested it. You asked for patience. He sent someone who triggered it. You asked for unconditional love. He sent someone who made you prove it. The angels say, the divine teacher appears not to comfort, but to transform. So do not curse the lessons that came wrapped in pain. Thank them, and because those are the ones that freed you. There are souls who arrive like shields. You may not even realize it, but their very presence keeps certain battles from reaching you. They pray for you without you, knowing they sense danger before it touches you. They speak words that redirect your steps just in time. You might call it luck, but the angels call it divine protection. These are the people who come when you're lost, and without asking for anything, they guide you back to safety. They're not always loud. Sometimes they just stay near, silent but strong. If you have someone like that, hold them in gratitude, because heaven stationed them beside you like an unseen guardian. Angels say some angels wear faces, you know, and then there are the ones who awaken you. They don't heal you or protect you, they ignite you. They shake your spirit awake from spiritual sleep. After meeting them, you can't go back to who you were. They make you question, feel, dream, believe again. They remind you of your divine mission, that your life has purpose beyond survival. These are the ones who spark your creativity, your faith, your passion, and sometimes that awakening comes with chaos, because light always stirs what darkness tried to keep asleep. You'll know this person because their presence feels electric. You may love them deeply, or even clash with them intensely, but either way, they awaken something ancient within you. And the angels whisper, this is the one heaven used to open your eyes. Not every divine connection is gentle. Some are fiery. They disrupt your comfort so you can move into calling. These are the souls who come to push you. Their role isn't to stay. It's to set your destiny in motion. Maybe after they left, you started writing or praying or chasing the dream you once feared. They awakened your becoming. Their exit hurt, but it birthed your purpose. Angels say, when the heart breaks, destiny opens. So the pain of losing them was not punishment, it was propulsion. Heaven used that ache as the wind beneath your wings. Sometimes, the person God sends doesn't change your path, they change your heart. They remind you that love is still real, that gentleness still breathes in a harsh world. They might not stay forever, but their memory becomes a sanctuary you can return to. When you doubt God's goodness, you'll remember their kindness and believe again. That is their purpose, to restore your faith in love itself. Heaven uses them as proof that God still answers in tenderness. Even if you never see them again, they remain your personal evidence of divine love. Take a deep breath. Think of the person who changed your life the most. Ask yourself, which purpose did they serve? Were they your healer, your mirror, your teacher, your protector, your awakener, your reminder? Maybe they were all of them. Whatever their role, know this: nothing was wasted. Not the meeting, not the joy, not the heartbreak, because heaven never sends without reason, and God never removes without completion. Angels say, Every soul you meet is part of your transformation. Every connection is written by light. So when you look back and your heart still aches, let that ache become gratitude. Whisper softly, "Thank you, God, for sending them." The angels say, when God sends someone into your life, their light will touch your darkness, and in doing so, your pain will rise to the surface. You might not expect it. You might think divine love should feel peaceful, easy, always beautiful. But heaven whispers real healing rarely feels gentle, because to heal a wound, God must first reveal it, and often he reveals it through the very person he sent to help you heal. When this person entered your life, everything changed. You felt alive again, you felt seen, you felt loved. But as time went on, something else began to surface. Fears you thought were gone, insecurities you thought you'd outgrown, tears you never expected to shed again. You began to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why does this connection hurt as much as it heals? The angels answer softly, because this love was meant to expose what was never truly healed. It's not their fault, and it's not yours. It's the divine process. Their presence acts like light shining through glass, showing you every crack, not to shame you, but to help you finally mend. There's a sacred kind of pain that comes when God begins to heal your heart through another soul. It feels confusing at first. Love mixed with ache, comfort mixed with vulnerability. You may feel abandoned. You may fear losing them. You may even try to push them away. But angels say, the closer you come to divine love, the louder your wounds will cry for release. When your heart trembles at the thought of losing them, it's not because you're weak. It's because your spirit recognizes the risk of loving purely again. Healing asks for courage, the courage to let your heart stay open, to even when it trembles, even when tears fall. Have you cried because of them? Not out of anger, but out of something deeper, the way your heart feels too full, too raw, too awake. Those tears are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of divine movement. Every tear that falls carries what words cannot express: forgiveness, surrender, gratitude, and the ache of release. Angels say when the soul cries, heaven listens. Your tears are not wasted. They are the water that helps your heart bloom again. So cry if you must. Cry for what was lost. Cry for what was found. Cry for the miracle of being seen, as even for a moment, through divine eyes, because sometimes healing begins the moment you finally stop pretending you're fine. When God sends someone to heal you, He also sends them to transform you. At first, it feels like breaking, but if you look closely, you'll see that what's breaking is not your heart. It's your old identity. The person He sent is peeling away the layers of fear, of doubt, of old stories you've carried too long. They came to help you remember you are love, you are light, you are divine creation itself. Even if the connection feels heavy right now, even if it ended with pain, the angels want you to know it wasn't destruction. It was rebirth. Sometimes God allows the person who healed you to also be the one who breaks you open again, not to wound you, but to finish what was started. It hurts, doesn't it? To be touched by heaven and then left with silence, to be held in divine love, then forced to walk without it. You might think you lost them, but angels say, you didn't lose them, you found yourself. Their purpose was never to complete you. It was to awaken you, and now, even in their absence, the healing continues, because you carry their light inside you. Every lesson, every moment, every word they gave you still vibrates in your... You became your own healer because they showed you how. There comes a point where the talking ends, the messages stop, the connection quiets. But in that silence, something sacred begins. You start hearing your own soul again. You realize that the healing they sparked has now turned inward, that what they gave you externally, God is now completing internally. The angels whisper, this is not the end. It's the continuation of love in another form. Love never dies, and it evolves. It moves from person to spirit, from presence to memory. And in that evolution, your soul learns how to stand again. There will be a day when you think of them and no longer feel the sting of loss. Instead, you'll smile. You'll feel peace where pain once lived. You'll remember the tears and thank God for them. That's the sign your heart has completed its healing. The angels say, when love stops hurting and starts teaching, you have been healed. So bless them in your heart, send them light, and whisper gratitude, for they were the vessel heaven used to restore your soul. Take a moment now, breathe. Place your hand over your heart. Think of that person, the one who brought both laughter and tears. Feel what you feel. It is without judgment, and listen. Can you hear it? That soft whisper between your breaths saying, I'm still here. I never left. I became part of you. That's the echo of divine love. The reminder that nothing heaven sends is ever truly lost. Angels say, sometimes God heals you by breaking your heart wide open, so His love can finally flow through. The angels say, when God sends someone into your life, He is not only sending love, He is sending wisdom. Every connection, every tear, every smile carries a divine lesson. Sometimes we understand it quickly, sometimes it takes years. But heaven never wastes a meeting. The soul does not grow through comfort. It grows through reflection, through the lessons hidden within love. So today, open your heart as the angels reveal what you were meant to learn from that person who changed everything. The first lesson is the hardest. You learn that true love is not about owning someone. It is about honoring them. You learn that God doesn't send people so you can keep them. He sends them so you can receive the message they carry. Love in its highest form does not cling. It appreciates. It gives thanks for what was shared. Even if it ends, angels say, love them enough to let them be who God called them to be. Even if that means walking a path that doesn't include you. When you release someone with peace instead of bitterness, you graduate into divine maturity. You show heaven that your love has evolved from need into gratitude. The angels whisper, what you called heartbreak, heaven calls awakening. Through the pain they caused, or the pain of losing them, God was teaching you something sacred. Pain becomes the teacher that polishes your soul. It teaches compassion, it teaches empathy, it teaches the strength that quiet victories are made of. You begin to see that what hurt you also humbled you. And in that humility, your heart became softer, more open, more divine. If pain taught you how to love better, how to forgive faster, how to trust God deeper, then the pain was not wasted. It was wisdom in disguise. One of the most powerful lessons God teaches through divine connections is that release is not rejection, it is obedience. Sometimes, holding on too tightly means you don't trust God's timing, so He asks you to let go, not to lose love, but to allow it to evolve into something eternal. You don't need to fight what heaven orchestrates. You just need to surrender to the flow of divine will. Angels say, when you let go with love, you make room for miracles. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to control what only heaven can sustain. Before that divine soul entered your life, you might have accepted less than what you deserved, but through them, you began to see your worth again. They showed you how it feels to be valued, seen, respected, and sometimes how it feels when love doesn't honor that. Either way, the lesson remains the same. You are worthy of love that heals, not harms. God sends people to reflect how deeply He loves you. If they treated you kindly, it was a reminder of His grace. If they treated you poorly, it was a reminder to never accept less than His love again. Angels say, know your worth, for you are the child of eternity. Every person who crosses your path carries a message, Some deliver joy, some deliver truth, some deliver lessons that feel like storms, but each is a messenger of heaven. When you see people through that lens, you stop asking, "Why did they hurt me?" and begin to ask, "What were they sent to teach me?" That's how pain turns into power. That's how wounds turn into wisdom. Even those who disappointed you were part of God's plan. They were chapters, not the whole story, and their role, and no matter how difficult, helped shape the faith you stand in today. Angels say, every encounter is sacred when you see it with awakened eyes. You might think healing is something that happens once, but the angels remind you that it happens in layers. Each connection reveals a new part of your heart that still needs light, and God, in His mercy, sends souls to help with each layer. So if you meet someone new who feels familiar, don't fear it. It's not a repetition, it's continuation. Your healing journey is guided, not random. You are moving closer to the fullness of who God designed you to be. Angels say, do not rush healing. Let it unfold like sunrise, one soft light at a time. In the end, gratitude becomes your greatest teacher. When you can thank God for the ones who loved you, and even for the ones who hurt you, you step into divine maturity. Gratitude releases the weight of resentment and turns your story into testimony. Every soul that entered your life left a fingerprint of heaven. Some stayed to build you, some left to bless you. All served a purpose. Angels say, gratitude turns endings into beginnings. So thank them, silently, sincerely, for being part of your divine curriculum. Because without them, you wouldn't have become the person you are today. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Think of the lessons you've learned through love, the beauty, the pain, the growth. Now imagine each lesson as a star in your sky. See how they form a constellation, a sacred map guiding you home to your divine purpose. The angels say, these lessons are your wings. Wear them proudly, for they carry you toward light. You didn't lose in love, you learned in love, and that learning made you holy. The angels say, there are souls you do not meet for the first time in this lifetime. You are simply remembering them. When your eyes met theirs, something ancient stirred inside you, a recognition beyond words, a familiarity that made no sense to your mind, yet your soul whispered, I know you. That's because you did. You knew them long before you met them here. You knew them in the light, in spirit, in heaven. These are divine connections, bonds woven not by time, but by eternity. Before you came to earth, your soul made agreements. You chose lessons, you chose growth, and you chose certain souls who would help awaken you. These are called soul contracts, promises made in heaven. The angels say, some souls promise to love you, some promise to challenge you, some promise to leave. So you would learn to stand. Every meeting was written with divine intention. That's why some people feel like home. That's why others change. You in ways words cannot explain. Their presence was planned. Their absence was too. Not every soul you meet is a soulmate, but those who are will mirror parts of your soul. They come to awaken dormant pieces of your spirit, to remind you of who you were before. The world made you forget. Sometimes this love feels too intense. It pulls you, challenges you, exposes you, because it's divine fire refining you. Angels say, when you meet a soulmate, you don't just fall in love. You fall into remembrance. You remember how divine love feels. You remember heaven through human form. That's why it hurts when they leave. You are not just mourning the person, you are mourning the echo of eternity that came with them. There's a moment when time stands still, then when a single glance feels like a lifetime. Maybe it was in their eyes, their voice, their energy. You didn't need words. Your soul already knew. Recognition happens through vibration, not logic. It's as if heaven briefly opened a window and for a moment, you remembered your eternal connection. Angels say, when your soul meets another from your divine circle, you feel peace and ache at the same time. Peace because you've found home. Ache because you know home cannot stay forever on earth. Why do such souls meet again on earth? Because God knows the heart remembers what the mind forgets. You meet again to continue the work that began in spirit, to finish lessons, to offer forgiveness, to awaken love. Sometimes you come to heal each other, other times to remind each other of your divine mission, and sometimes simply to say, I still love you across lifetimes. Every reunion is sacred, even if it lasts only a season. The angels whisper, no connection guided by heaven is ever wasted. Even if it ends, it completes something eternal. Separation does not mean the bond is gone. Souls never truly disconnect. They only shift dimensions. Even when they walk away, their energy lingers in songs, in dreams, in sudden feelings of peace or sadness. That is the soul reminding you, I am still with you, just in another form. You might dream of them often, feel their presence when you pray, or sense their energy when you need comfort. These are not coincidences. They are soul echoes, proof that love never ends. It only transforms. Angels say, separation is not the death of connection. It is the deepening of it. True spiritual love doesn't need physical presence to exist. It flows beyond time and form. That's why some people live in your heart forever. They became part of your frequency, part of your eternal song. Even when they move on, the love you shared becomes light that guides you forward. Sometimes, your healing heals them too, even if they are far away. Because energy travels through love, not distance. When you forgive them, they feel it. When you bless them, heaven hears it. And when you release them in peace, both of you rise higher. Angels say love is never lost. It is simply remembered differently. Have you ever seen their name at random moments? Heard a song that felt like a message? Felt a sudden warmth in your heart for no reason? These are divine synchronicities, heaven's way of saying, your souls are still speaking. You may not see them in person, but your connection still exists in the spiritual realm. It's the angels' reminder that sacred bonds transcend the physical world. Angels say, when you think of them and feel peace, it means your souls are aligned again. So when those signs appear, smile. It's a heavenly hello. Every soul you love becomes a golden thread in your eternal tapestry. Those threads never break. They only weave deeper into your being. And one day, beyond this life, you will meet them again, free from pain, free from time. You will recognize them instantly and whisper, we did it. We learned, we loved, we found our way home. That reunion will be pure light. No more tears, no more distance, only joy. Until then, carry their memory with grace, and let their love continue to teach you how to love more purely, more deeply, more divinely. Angels say, what began in heaven will return to heaven, and love will be the bridge between worlds. The angels say, not all angels have wings. Some walk beside you wearing human skin, carrying heaven's light in their eyes. Sometimes you don't realize you've met one until their presence changes you forever. You may not see their halo, but you'll feel it. In the peace they bring, in the warmth that surrounds them, in the way your heart feels safe even in silence. You recognize them not by sight, but by feeling. The moment they enter your life, something within you exhales. It's not excitement, and it's remembrance. It's as if your soul whispers, there you are. You might feel you've known them forever. Their energy is soothing, steady, pure, even without words. You sense that your spirit trusts them. Angels say, when heaven sends a soul into your life, Your heart will recognize their light before your eyes ever do. That familiarity isn't random. It's divine memory resurfacing. When life feels heavy, when storms rage inside you, they arrive like quiet rain. They may not fix your problems, but somehow when they speak, the storm calms. You feel lighter, clearer, closer to God. They don't drain your energy, they restore it. Their presence lifts your spirit in ways words can't explain. You can recognize a divine messenger by what they awaken in you. Not fear, not confusion, but peace. Angels say peace is the signature of heaven. When you feel peace around them, you are standing in divine presence. They don't flatter your ego, they speak to your soul. Sometimes their words will challenge you, sometimes they'll comfort you, but always, they carry truth that brings light into your darkness. You might think, how did they know exactly what I needed to hear? That's because they didn't speak from their mind, they spoke from their spirit. Angels say when you hear divine truth, your soul vibrates in recognition. These people are conduits. God speaks through them. Pay attention to their words. They carry messages wrapped in love, divine. Timing is never random. The angelic souls sent into your life often appear right when you need them, when your heart is breaking, when you've lost faith, when you're standing on the edge of giving up. They arrive quietly, often disguised as friends, mentors, strangers, or even unexpected encounters. They bring something only heaven could have orchestrated, a prayer answered, a door opened, a message whispered. You don't find them by searching, you find them by surrendering. Angels say when the student is ready, heaven sends the messenger. These people don't come to save you, they come to remind you. They remind you of your strength, your worth, your divine nature. When you're with them, you start believing in yourself again. You start feeling that you're not broken, just becoming. They see beauty in you that you've forgotten. They see light in you that you've dimmed. Angels say, when someone sees the divine in you before you see it in yourself, that's how you know heaven sent them. They are mirrors of your higher self, reflecting love, patience, and faith. They may not always stay in your life forever, but while they're there, their love feels sacred. It's not possessive, it doesn't demand, it simply is. They give without expecting. They care without seeking reward. They love in a way that makes you feel safe, seen and free. This kind of love is not human alone, it's divine, flowing through human hands. Angels say, when someone loves you with no motive, know that heaven is loving you through them. It's subtle, but if you look closely, you'll see it. Their eyes have a glow that words can't describe. Not just physical light, but spiritual clarity. When they look at you, you feel understood without needing to explain. They see not just your actions, but your soul. They see beyond your mistakes and remember who you truly are. Angels say, the eyes of a divine messenger reflect eternity. If you've ever locked eyes with someone and felt an instant calm, you've glimpsed the light of heaven through human form. Even if they're only in your life for a short time, they leave an imprint that never fades. Maybe they taught you something life-changing. Maybe they helped you believe in love again. Maybe they simply reminded you that kindness still exists. When they leave, you are never the same. You walk differently. You think differently. You love differently. Angels say, you will know them by the fruit they leave in your heart. They don't take from you, they add to you. They plant seeds that bloom long after they're gone. One of the most painful truths is this. Sometimes the angelic souls sent to guide you must leave once their purpose is fulfilled. It's not rejection. It's divine timing. God sends them to deliver something, a lesson, a message, a spark of healing. And once that mission is complete, heaven calls them onward. It hurts. But remember, their leaving doesn't end their impact. They stay alive in your growth, in your strength, in your prayers. Angels say when the messenger leaves, the message remains. You may cry, you may grieve, but one day you'll look back and realize this is the ultimate sign. They don't pull you away from faith, they bring you closer to it. When you're around them, you feel the presence of God, their kindness, their patience, their spirit remind you of divine love itself. You start praying more, you start believing again, you start feeling that life still has purpose. That's how you know. They were heaven's way of touching earth through love. Angels say, when you feel God through someone's love, you've met one of his angels. Their absence was also part of your awakening. Look back on your life. Think of those who came and changed you, even for a moment. The friend who comforted you at the right time. The stranger who spoke words that healed you. The loved one who saw the best in you when you saw none. Now you know. They weren't coincidences. They were heaven's messengers. You've already met angels. You just didn't know their wings were invisible. The angels say, not everyone sent by heaven is meant to stay forever. Some are sent to awaken you, to heal you, to change the direction of your soul. And when their divine mission is complete, they are called to move on, not as punishment, but as purpose fulfilled. This is one of the hardest truths of divine love, because when God takes them away, he is not taking love from you. He is taking you to the next chapter. You might ask, why did they leave? Why did it end? But heaven sees what your heart cannot yet see. Some connections were never meant to last a lifetime. They were meant to shape a lifetime. They came to deliver something only they could give, a moment of comfort, a spark of healing, a truth you needed to hear. And when that assignment was complete, heaven whispered to them, it's time. Angels say, when you ask why they left, God answers, because their part of your story was finished. You see an ending. Heaven sees completion. Sometimes you learn more from their absence than from their presence. Their leaving becomes a sacred mirror, showing you what you've learned, what you've healed, and how strong you've become. Before them, you doubted yourself. Through them, you felt alive again. After them, you discover your own wings. This is how God works. He uses people to awaken you, and then uses solitude to refine you. Angels say when they leave, it's not rejection, it's graduation. Their absence teaches independence. Their memory teaches gratitude. Their love teaches endurance. If it didn't hurt, it wouldn't have mattered. Tears are sacred. They are the body's way of releasing divine truth. So when you cry for someone who's gone, you are not weak. You are human, honoring the love that changed your soul. Every tear becomes a prayer. Every ache a reminder that you experienced something heavenly. Angels say, don't curse the pain of love. It is proof that you have touched eternity. Your sadness means you cared deeply, and caring deeply is one of the purest ways to reflect God's heart. The angels whisper, when a divine soul departs, they leave traces of heaven behind. Sometimes those traces appear as strength, the ability to face what once broke. Sometimes they appear as wisdom, the calm understanding that everything has purpose, and sometimes they appear as peace, the quiet knowing that even though they're gone, their love still guides you. Their energy becomes part of your story, their memory a light that will never dim. The angels remind you, every removal is protection in disguise. When someone leaves, God might be protecting you from pain you can't yet see, or redirecting you towards something greater. You may not understand it now, but in time you'll realize that his plan was mercy, not cruelty. Maybe if they stayed, you would have settled where you were meant to soar. Maybe if they stayed, you wouldn't have turned fully to God for comfort. Angels say, some people must exit your story so your destiny can enter. Their leaving opens space for new lessons, new growth, new blessings. Energy cannot be destroyed. Love cannot end. It only changes form. When their mission is done, their spirit continues to walk beside you in unseen ways. You might feel them in your dreams, in moments of silence, or in sudden waves of peace that come from nowhere. That's their soul saying, "I'm still here, just differently." Angels say, "What is divine cannot be lost, only remembered." Their voice becomes your intuition. Their love becomes your courage. Their spirit becomes the whisper that says, "Keep going." When their work is done, yours begins. Because the greatest way to honor someone sent by heaven is to become what they were to you. Be the light they were. Speak the kindness they spoke. Love the way they loved you. Their mission may be complete, but yours continues, to carry their lessons forward, to share the same divine compassion with others. Angels say, "You were not meant to keep them. You were meant to continue them." And when you do, their spirit lives on through you. Every emotion, every prayer, every act of surrender is known to God. Heaven watches as you grieve, and angels gather around to comfort you, whispering, "You are not alone." They record your growth, your healing, your strength. One day when your soul crosses back into eternity, you'll understand why it all happened the way it did. You'll meet them again, and every tear will make sense. Angels say, "What you call endings, heaven calls homecomings." So when someone leaves, don't see it as abandonment. See it as divine completion. Whisper, "Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the love." Then release them with peace. Because what's meant for you will always remain, not in physical form, but in spirit, in memory, in transformation. Their mission in your life may be complete, but God's mission in your soul continues. Heaven never subtracts without adding something greater, and every goodbye written by divine hands always ends with grace. Sometimes, the hardest part of a divine connection is when it ends. When the person God sent you, the one who awakened your soul, healed your wounds and taught you to love again, suddenly walks away. You stand there watching the space they used to fill become quiet, and you ask, "God, why would you send someone so powerful, so full of light, only to take them away?" The angels whisper, "Because their mission is complete. Not every divine connection is meant to stay forever. Some are meant to shift your entire existence in a single season, to help you remember your purpose, and then release you into your next chapter." You see, endings in the physical world don't always mean endings in the spiritual one. When someone's energy transforms your soul, they never really leave. A part of them stays, woven into your prayers, echoing in your memories, living inside the lessons they left behind. The angels say, "Every goodbye written by heaven carries grace, not punishment." You may not see it now, but someday you'll understand that God didn't take them away. He moved them forward. He moved you forward. Because both of your souls had grown beyond that chapter. You had completed the purpose of meeting. You had both delivered the miracles meant for each other. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means blessing. It means standing in gratitude for the divine timing that brought your souls together and the divine wisdom that now parts you. Because the same God who brought them knows when to release them. Narration. The angels remind us, when we hold on to what heaven is trying to move, we suffer. But when we open our hands, we allow God to fill them again with new light, new peace, new love. So if your heart is aching right now, let it ache. Cry, mourn the space that feels empty, but after the tears, look deeper, because you'll find that the love they awakened in you was never theirs to own. It was yours all along. They were just sent to remind you that it exists. Souls connected by heaven never truly separate. Energy cannot be destroyed. It only transforms. So even if they're not beside you anymore, their light still moves through your life in unseen ways. Maybe you'll hear their name in a song. Maybe you'll dream of them on a quiet night. Maybe their voice will echo in your heart when you need courage again. That's not coincidence. That's God's way of saying, they're still with you, just differently. If you could hear what the angels are saying right now, you'd know they're proud of you. They're proud of the way you loved, the way you gave, the way you learned to trust heaven even when your heart was breaking. Because pain, when offered to God, becomes purpose, and love, when surrendered, becomes eternal. One day, you'll wake up and realize you can think of them without tears. You'll smile, not because you forgot, but because you remember differently now. You'll remember the divine beauty of their purpose, the light they carried, and the way they helped you see yourself through God's eyes. And in that moment, you'll whisper, "Thank you, God, for sending them." What if them leaving was part of the miracle? What if the separation was heaven's way of expanding your heart so it could hold more love, not just for them, but for yourself and for the world around you? Angels say, sometimes love's greatest act is release. When you love deeply and still choose to bless the one who's gone, you align your heart with heaven. You graduate spiritually. You rise. So do not curse the goodbye. Do not fear the ending. Instead, whisper gratitude. Because God trusted you with a sacred connection, even if only for a moment in time. The person God sent into your life, they were not a mistake, not an illusion, not a test meant to destroy you. They were a mirror, a messenger, a light in human form. And even if they've gone their own way now, their purpose remains. Because God's messages never fade. They echo forever, in your soul, in your growth, in your love. So breathe, heal, and know, this ending is not the final chapter. It's the sacred pause before heaven writes your next miracle. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating. That rhythm, it's not random. It's the echo of God's love flowing through you. Every heartbeat is heaven reminding you, you were chosen, not by accident, not by luck, but by divine purpose. You were chosen to feel love so powerful, it broke you open, so that light could enter. Angels say there are souls on earth who carry a special assignment to remember love, to live love, and to teach love through their pain. You are one of them. That's why God sent that person into your life, not to destroy you, but to awaken you. They came as a divine spark to remind you of your capacity to forgive, to nurture, to believe again even after disappointment. Because love isn't only about romance, it's about resurrection. It's about learning that you are never truly alone, even when the person leaves. The angels are whispering right now. Beloved, we saw your tears, we watched you hold on, and we watched you let go. We saw your heart break, and still choose light. They say heaven is proud of you, because every time you loved, you reflected God's heart. Every time you forgave, you rewrote pain into peace. And every time you chose hope, you proved that divine love never fails. The reason you can still feel Themis, because love never ends, it transforms. You may walk on separate paths now, but your souls will forever recognize each other. Some souls are tied by memory, others by destiny, but the rarest are tied by eternity. That's the kind of bond God trusted you with. So don't see your story as tragedy. See it as a sacred training ground for your spirit to evolve into divine maturity. There will come a day when you'll meet others in pain, and you'll understand them because you've walked through it. You'll speak words that heal because you've been healed yourself. You'll carry compassion that feels like sunlight, warm, pure, effortless. That's when you'll realize this wasn't just about love. It was about becoming love, and that's why God chose you. Listen closely. The angels say, you were never meant to keep them. You were meant to keep the lesson. Every touch, every laugh, every tear was heaven's way of shaping your heart into something eternal. So when you look back, don't regret. Bless them, bless the story, bless yourself. Because even if you lost the person, you gained your wings. You will love again. But next time it will be different. You'll love without fear, without the need to hold too tightly. You'll recognize love as flow, not possession. You'll recognize God's timing in every meeting, every goodbye, every new beginning. And when the next divine soul enters your life, you'll smile and say, I understand now. Love is not something that ends. It's something that evolves forever. Let us end with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for the souls you send to awaken our hearts. Thank you for the love that teaches, for the goodbyes that heal, and for the strength to keep shining. May every listener who hears these words feel your peace tonight. May they forgive, release, and trust the divine story you are writing for them. Amen. Maybe you cried tonight. Maybe your heart trembled as you remembered the one God sent to you. That's okay. Tears are just love leaving the body in the form of healing. So cry if you must. But then rise. Rise knowing that you were chosen to feel something sacred. Rise knowing that your story isn't ending. It's only beginning again. With greater faith, deeper compassion, because heaven isn't finished with you yet. There are still divine meetings ahead. Souls waiting to recognize you, love waiting to return, miracles waiting to unfold. If this message touched your heart, if you felt the presence of something divine while listening, then this was meant for you. You are part of a spiritual awakening, a movement of hearts guided by light. So don't walk this journey alone. Join the Words of Angel family. Like this video if it spoke to your soul. Comment below and share your story, because your words may be the light someone else needs tonight. And don't forget to subscribe, so you never miss another divine message sent just for you. Because angels say, when you share light, heaven multiplies it. You are loved, you are guided, you are never alone. This is why God sent them, so you could remember Him, so you could remember love, so you could remember you.